today I wanted to go through the guest side of the platform. And the reason that I built this and I feel it's so important is because when we're bringing on people to our podcast, webcast, when we're bringing them to co-create content with them, what we're really doing is in part borrowing their authority and their network, right? We're bringing on people that we're selecting that we think could help lend us credibility in what we're saying. They can back us up. It adds part of that psychological first follower principle. But then at the same time, they have their own network. And where I see a lot of thought leaders and creators who are collaborating with guests fall short is they bring them on, they do the recording, and then 6 weeks go by, and all of a sudden, I wait for a Google alert to say, oh, you were just on a podcast. And I say, great, I had no idea it was about to release. We're missing the opportunity to have them promote the content to their network. So that's what we've built out here, was an entire infrastructure to make that as easy as possible. So let's start it from the host side. I'm a host. This is the demo environment from last week. Let's say I have a demo episode here. We haven't really started anything yet. I want to invite a guest. So let's look at what that means. Here we have the opportunity to invite a guest. We can add a new guest. Now, let's say my name isn't AJ, but I'm inviting AJ Bub. One of the things that we did as we're continuing to build out our world of guests that we've had come on to any show on the platform is we've made it really easy that if that guest has already appeared on a show that was hosted through Convia, we can link up guests by email. So you don't have to do any of the work to get any of their information, right? But let's say that the guest had not been there yet. So we're going to add a new guest and we'll say it's Arash. Arash, you're the guest today. Woohoo! But I'm going to use kind of my email address so that I could show you all what happens when we do it. Okay, so we're going to say Arash is here and we'll put Arash we'll just put R. Okay. Now we have the option to add and invite the guest. So when we add in the invite the guest, it comes up with the screen here that you could email them a profile link or you could share it directly with them. So I'll take the share directly with them and we'll send the email. And what that's going to do is that's going to send an invitation to your guest to create their profile. So let's see. I don't know if it's going to like it that I have multiple screens open, but this is the page that they would get to. So it's got my brand logo on it. It has, this would be, your show name or your brand name here. And then it asks you to fill out your profile, and you can see it already has like Arash R. So we can put in his last name. We could say CEO, Archer Insight. We could put your LinkedIn here, all of your information, and then you can save the profile. Now, they have the opportunity here to create a guest portal, and we'll get into what that means in a second. So let's say, Arash, you got this. You filled out all of your information. Great. Let's go back and I'm going to pull up a live instance of what it looks like when a guest is with a profile. That profile is complete. So we're going to pick on Victoria again because I keep picking on her. I'll have to tell her. So Victoria was the guest of my last episode. I sent her the link. She filled out her profile. You'll see here when they claim their profile, it's now in their control. You can't edit any of their information. But what she added was everything that I as a host might need. I have her website, I have her bio, I have her social links, and then I have all the different photos that she uploaded so that I can use. I could look at it, I could say, great, I can save this, I could leverage it later in the platform. As a host, this is the kind of stuff that helps me prepare for launching my episode. Okay, so I got all this great information. What does that mean? Well, what that means is when I'm getting ready to build my content, my social media content that comes out of it, I want to be able as the host to leverage that. So what that gives me is when I come in to build social content from an episode, and it's important to think about it this way. I can come here and I can say, I want to create a LinkedIn post, and we're going to say, announce the video. Typically, I would have to do something like, I had a great conversation with Victoria. I don't remember how to spell her last name. What was her website? Let me look it up. What we did here is all of that information is right here at your fingertips. So I could say, sorry, somebody have a question?
No, I said neat. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I can say I had great conversation with Victoria at Unstoppable You. I could just drop this stuff right in. If I wanted to say, you can reach out to her at, here's her Facebook, here's her, all that. So we've made it so all of that information is easily recallable right from there. And not only is it her information, because I'm the host of the episode, I also have the host of the episode, or the host information. This is my bio. So I could say, thank you for, joining AJ on this episode of Facing Disruption, right? It's all there. It's all easy, right? The other thing that we have here and this goes back and forth, some platforms like it or not, but one of the challenges I had is I was always reusing the same hashtags and needed to be able to put that in there quickly. So we have hashtag groups as well. So you could just add in, here's all my AI and leadership hashtags, and you could make that really easy. The other thing that we have here are text snippets. So if you have a call to action, you could also just say, hey, here's my standard call to action, and we could drop it in there. So great. Now we have the content. We have Victoria's information in here. What does that mean from there? Well, there's an entire guest portal. So if Victoria created her guest portal, she would have access to something that looks like this. So this is my guest portal for some of my episodes. And what that does is it gives Victoria the ability to see all of the episodes that she's ever appeared on that went through Convia, whether it's Facing Disruption, Beyond the Bite, whoever it is, it looks at all of them. She can come in here and then say, hey, I want to get the clips from this episode and I want to post it myself. She has access to all of the clips that you uploaded. If you uploaded thumbnails and things like that, she has access to the artwork. Then the important thing here, she can start to look at all of the posts that you have scheduled coming up. So this is all of the different posts for LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok. She could see that. Now we have the ability that you can view the post once it's published, and it'll view a direct link to that post. Makes it really easy for them to reshare that content. The other thing that we have that is brand new as of last week is we now have performance data. So let me just switch to my other account here. If it lets me. All right. So here we have Craig's episode is the first one that we started doing performance analytics for. So here we are again. These are all of the posts that came out. This is the ones that are published. So you can see that here I can literally click view post as the guest and it takes me right to the post. Makes it really easy to start reposting and sharing. And now the next thing is the analytics side. As a guest, I can see the performance of all of the different posts across platforms for the episode that I appeared on. Not every platform is supported yet. We're still working on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Threads. But we do have TikTok already. We have YouTube. We have regular LinkedIn. It's all there. And then finally, what the guest gets is a calendar view of the posts as they're coming out. So you can see when you can expect all of the posts to come out across different platforms. And you could literally see each platform here. Once it's posted, you'll be able to see the published post here. Now, the great thing as as a host, is that you can create, and of course, this has logged me out because we switched tabs. You can create promotional posts on behalf of your guest and ask them to post it for you. So as we come down here, we'll come back to facing disruption, content. So here, this is Dr. Craig Kaplan's episode. In our social content, you'll see we have promotional posts that you can create and you can assign it to a guest. Now, he has 2 guest entries because it's his assistant that added his profile information. So one is him and one was his assistant representing him. But you can come up here and you can say, this is what I want you to publish. And you could say, I want you to publish on the 29th at 10 a.m. And you can create that post. So now if we come here, actually, it probably won't show up exactly like we want it because I'm not the guest in question. But you'll see here, there's a new thing here. It says promotion. And if you click it, that is the post we just created that we want them to publish. So now you don't even have to worry about sending them an email saying, okay, here's a couple different templates of what I want you to post. You could do it right from your social content. And not only can you do that, we made it really easy that you could generate it with AI. And you have the ability to create templates for the host promotion and the guest promotion so that every time you do it, it generates on brand. So I'll pause there. That was an overview of all of the guest functionality. Questions, comments?
Yes.
Yeah, Nicole.
Yeah, this is great. And that's exactly the kind of help I've been wanting is helping to manage the guests. And like you, it's like somebody all of a sudden was posting from my interview several days in a row with I just went on Instagram and was like, oh, they posted that yesterday.
Yeah.
So it did not get the traction it should have. So I'm all for this. So my question is can we also just create a general post, for our podcast that's not related to a particular episode and just use this system and schedule it?
Yeah. So as we get out of an episode, you can think of the episode as a container of content, right? Mm-hmm. So your content can be in an episode or not in an episode. So right here, if you just came up to new and then post, it'll take you here. It'll ask you which platform that you want to create the post for. Note that it only shows you the platforms that you've connected. So if you don't have LinkedIn, it's not going to show you LinkedIn. So you can come here, you could say, okay, we'll create one for my Facebook page. You'll see up here two things. So here's the Facebook page, and then here's the account that is going to post to. And this is good to see if you have multiple accounts per platform, which was a recent feature that we rolled out. So here you could just say, you know, title a new post and say, this is a post not connected to an episode. And you could save it and it's the post. Now, if you accidentally make a post and you later want to put it into an episode, you can come down here and you could link it to an existing episode. So there's a lot of ways you can disconnect a post, you can connect a post. The benefit of connecting it to an episode is that then you could start to look at the analytics by an episode, or you could begin to group your posts by an episode. And for me, the way that I think, I like to be able to drill down and say, how did this episode do? How did these hashtags do? How did the guest perform on this episode? And just look at it different ways. So that's why there's so many interrelationships here. And we're working on and making that clearer, but that's why it's there, so that you can group them.
Awesome.
Yeah. So some other neat things you could do once they've filled out their guest profile. I'll show you some, a couple beta things here. Okay, so some of the things that I like to do is when I am preparing for the call and the episode, I want to be able to send them a scheduling link. And then I want to be able, after the episode, notify them. So we now have the ability to send a scheduling email and to notify the guest that their episode is ready. You can customize both of these emails from your My Brand page coming down to guest emails. And what we've done here is we've included the ability that you can add things like your show name, your episode title, the guest name, and you can customize that way. So now the email says literally recording details for safety and AI, for facing disruption. Hi, Dr. Craig Kaplan. Like, it's actually to them. And then I add my calendar link in there so that they could schedule the recording. You can add the link to get into Convia, and then here's a link to my prep guide. So all of that's added. And the same thing when I say notify that the episode is ready, it's the same thing. You can deep link to the calendar to say, here's the schedule of posts coming up. Thanks so much. Here's how you log in. All there, all easy. So that's one thing that we can do. And then when I said we're going to get into some of the beta stuff, we're starting to roll out our thumbnail studio. So now we're able to create thumbnails directly in Convia. And that gives us the ability, because they added their photos, I can select which headshot we use, and I can select a template. I could say, we're using this logo. We'll do a professional. Okay, let's do a energetic one. Let's see what happens. And I'm going to have it generate a prompt for me, because I'm not going to sit here and figure out what it's going to be. Okay, so it created an image prompt looking at the transcript and insights and content from the episode, because we've already put the episode in here, and it came up with a palette and all of that. So we'll say, great, let's generate. Now, the reason the text here is AI layoffs are a lie is because that's what we called the show title. You could edit to whatever you want. You could put in your own custom instructions. And here you go. Generated the thumbnail. It knows what the Facing Disruption logo is because we have it in My Brand and we've included it. And that's it. I don't have to do anything else. I could set this as the episode thumbnail and we're good to go.
Oops. Ah, that's me.
Yeah. And once it's here, it should be here as the episode thumbnail.
Huh.
Yep. So that's another thing that we're rolling out. Oh yeah, okay, save to media. And it's instantly shared with her, she can get it. All right. Other questions? We went through that really fast. I thought it would take a little longer.
I feel like all it's missing is an invoicing system, and you literally have a podcast that's right here.
Pretty much. And actually, we should have been checking the guest list. A Far Sight from Better just came in, and I don't know how long they've been waiting. So Arash Esteban, if you could keep an eye on the guest list here, I'll make you a co-host just in case anybody ends up waiting. Yeah, so actually that's one of the things that I originally had thought of putting together, was a way that you could say, hey, if you want to donate to the show, or if you want to contribute to advertising budget or something like that, here you could click this link. At some point, if we have the demand, we're happy to put that in there. And then another thing that we have on our roadmap is several people have asked about doing releases, like signing a release for using the content and using your likeness and things like that, as well as having a link where people can apply to be a guest on your show so they could fill out a form. So that's something that we also have on the roadmap. So you could just say, great, here's the link to my show. You know, if you want to be a guest, fill it out. And then that way, that's also part of the platform. All right, we got another. I love that. I guess we're going to move it up. Yeah, and anything, you know, like if you all have been in the Slack, and if you're not in the Slack, please, you know, by all means, join us. Here you go. I'll put the link in. We take user feedback really seriously. We're doing, I think, on average, 2 production pushes a week with new features, and these aren't small features. Like this is this week's updates. We're starting to test a new MCP connection that you could use directly with Claude. We got Instagram and Threads verified. We did a lot of work fixing Magic Repurpose and improving that. We have YouTube publishing now. Like, we're doing a lot of releases really fast. So if you have a burning need and say, hey, I need to be able to X, Y, and Z, send release statements so that they could sign it. Yeah, we could turn that around and get something there. That's the benefit of being part of the founder cohort, is you have direct access to us.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know why that little thumb went and stopped, but it finally did. So on my one account, can I have more than one show?
Okay, so that's a great question. Right now, you can think of this show being a single show per workspace, right? And the reason because of that is the way that we pull out all of your brand information. So the characteristics, the audience profile, the content rules, the templates is all geared around you have one kind of persona for that. So if you had multiple shows, I would suggest having multiple workspaces so that each one can operate independently. Now, the good thing with that is you can connect your social channels on multiple workspaces. So you don't have to constantly switch back and forth between them. Like, for example, I have Convia, Under Broadcasted, and Facing Disruption. Each one has a little bit of a different messaging, and that's how we separate it.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So basically, yeah, and it's through the workspaces.
Yeah.
Right. And right. And you were saying you connect the different social media, so because you'd have more than one page or account for the different ones.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome.
So here we have the ability, you can now connect every major social media platform without requiring approval. Thank you, Meta. We got the final approval 2 days ago. So you could just add any account, and then you could add secondary accounts as well. If you wanted to come in, like you could see here, one of the things that we're working on is LinkedIn company accounts. They come with the personal account that you've logged in through. So you'll see here's AJ Bub for LinkedIn and AJ Bub for LinkedIn, but then here's the company page. So you could have multiple accounts per platform. Like if I had 2 different YouTubes, I could have 2 different.
Great.
AJ Steven had a sort of comment on the chat.
Great. Steven, yes, that is a great point. And if you have multiple shows, just give me a call and we can start working out bulk packaging for multiple workspaces.
Has there been a need or an ask for a feature where, like, there's like a suggested podcast that you should collab with based off of like industries, kind of like being able to link people in with each other, as well as having a AI pitch so you can send them a message like, hey, I see we're in the same network, or we have similar guests. Can we collab? Can we do this?
I love that suggestion because that is where we want to go. Since we have the information of the shows, of the guests, since we could see the performance, the goal is as we grow the community within and around Convia, we'll be able to start helping you make introductions and make connections and find ones and find shows and people and brands that you resonate with. So there's a future where we have suggested guests, suggested appearances, algorithm in there. And that's going to come as we continue to grow all of the network within Convia. But yeah, I love where your head is at, because that's part of what I wanted to get to, right? Imagine a world where you can say, I want to talk about how disruptive AI layoffs are, and I can literally search a network to say, who's talking about it? How often are they talking about it? What's their impact with their audience? Great, here's your top 5 suggestions. Yeah. Anything else? Other questions?
And I think I'm just clarifying you. And then in anything, all the thumbnails or not the thumbnails, of course, but the clips and so forth, you can just download. And, because I'm thinking also for some of this using Substack. So I could also just download and then upload to Substack, because I think that Substack's doesn't really allow what you're doing, right? There to connect.
Correct. So you can't connect to Substack unless, I guess, you're Lenny's newsletter. I've heard rumors that Lenny pays a lot of money to have it direct connect. We love Lenny. So yeah, all of this, you could download it at any point and then just repost it somewhere else.
Perfect. Great. Thanks.
Yeah. The other thing you could do here, so for the Substack use case specifically, because I use Substack as well, on my articles that I write, I will put, clearly I didn't put it in this one, but I will put the published URL here just so it's saved in Convia and that I could link to it later. Yeah, because one of the things that I also needed was to be able to cross-link articles to say, oh, remember when I talked about this? So by doing that, the system is beginning to be able to say, okay, the last time you talked about AI layoffs was here. Let's link to that article. And now we can start pulling that together. Yes, Stephen, I will send you the recording. I apologize that I missed the you waiting there. I will absolutely send this to you. And for next time, we'll have to open it so anybody can come in. All right. Well, this was a fast demo.
Okay.
Let me know what you want to see on the next one, and really looking forward to it.